Hi guys, it's Tyler and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reading some freaky Wattpad stories. This is going to be fun. One thing you should know about me is back in like 2020, 2021, 2022, I was quite active on Wattpad to say the least. Both reading and writing fan fictions. So I'm definitely qualified to be going through this today. Also, I noticed that in my last video, I forgot to make my bed so you could see like my blanket all bundled up in the corner. And I noticed while I was editing, and honestly, like I couldn't be bothered to refilm the video, so I just left it in. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you can see, I've got my big calendar set up today. It's very heavy though, and I'm not using proper blue tack. It's got like off-brand blue tack on it, so it might fall down at some point when I'm filming this video and scare the shit out of me, but I hope that doesn't happen because that would be very embarrassing. Anyways, so today we're going to be reading MHA Smut. Wow, off to a great start. I've never watched My Hero Academia, to be honest, because back in like 2020 I saw what the fandom was like, and it kind of scared me into not wanting to even touch it with a 10-foot pole. But I have taken part in making fun of the fandom in the past, and honestly, like, if you enjoy My Hero Academia, if you're into that sort of stuff, I don't care. Like, whatever floats your boat, to be honest. Like, you keep watching it, it doesn't matter. I'm just having a little bit of fun. Anyways, so we're reading MHA Smut by Vanna_E today. Alrighty, we got chapter 1. Should I do the voices? I think I might do the voices. Deku! That's insane. I can't believe I just did that. I have to stick to the bit. Deku! Bakugo roared, running after him. Deku started to jump in the air, but quickly stopped himself. This exercise was supposed to be about close combat without the use of quirks, and naturally, he and Bakugo were on opposing teams. Deku somewhat clumsily moved to the side, planning to kick Bakugo over the head when he ran by, but Bakugo skidded up to stop, just a few inches short, grabbing Deku's ankles and smacking him against the wall. What, like this? Bang! Before he could properly react, Bakugo shoved his elbow into Deku's chest, pinning him in place. "How are you supposed to beat me if you can't land a single hit?" he growled, his breath hot against Deku's face. This is bad, guys. This is really bad. I gotta lock in. Before Deku could respond, they were practically surrounded. Seemed a few students in a working group had found their location. This next character's name is Mononmus. I've never heard of them before, and I don't know what their voice sounds like, but it says that they have an annoying voice, so I'm just gonna do my own rendition. "Ah, look like you're about to kiss or something," came Monomus's ever-annoying voice. "Isn't it weird that Class B is actually working while you two are snogging? Huh? Isn't that weird?" Kendo smacked Monoma across the face, but Deku and Bakugo were far from paying attention. Bakugo shoved Deku away hastily, backing away from the furiously blushing Deku. No, it's nothing like that." I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. Okay. I gotta lock in. I need some water. This is too much. Alright, let's go again. No, it's nothing like that," Deku explained, panicked. "You're making yourself sound worse," Kaminari mumbled, which didn't help how embarrassed Deku felt. That night, Deku found himself lying awake in his bed. "Stupid Monoma," he mumbled to himself. What a stupid idea. Kissing Bakugo. But the scene still played out in his head, and as humiliating as it was, the more he thought about it, the more turned on he got. He was violently erupted from his thoughts by a knock at the door. Deku sat up suddenly, clumsily rolling out of his bed. He stood to his feet, quite surprised to have opened the door to Bakugo. Bakugo was leaning his arm up against the doorframe. He had an uncharacteristic blush across his cheeks. "Deku." He shoved Deku aside, letting himself in. "Kachan?" Guys, this is really bad. I don't want to keep going, but I have to. Oh, I really hope Vanna, the person who wrote this satirically, wrote this as a joke. I really hope she didn't pour her heart and soul into this story. Because number one, it's really bad. So if she did put a lot of effort into the story, I don't think she's gonna make it very far. That's really mean, but it's true. And secondly, I'm just gonna be taking the piss out of it the whole time, and I really hope that she didn't do it unironically, because I would feel really, really bad taking the piss out of somebody who actually tried. So to, I don't know, kind of make myself feel better, I'm just gonna tell myself that this is satire. I think it is satire because of the stuttering that Deku has every 5 seconds. But yeah, I'm just gonna tell myself that it's satire. Let's continue. You've been thinking about what Manama said. It wasn't a question. He slammed the door behind him. And suddenly Bakugo was grabbing him by the shirt and kissing him, and ... It felt good. The punctuation. Bakugo pulled away a little too soon, both of them a little shocked. Bakugo growled. He somewhat lightly punched the wall. But it still made Deku jump. Oh! No, I just did that. I think I'm cringing at myself more than I'm cringing at this story. I really need to stop. This is bad. This is really bad. Sorry, I've never really... It's not that. You were great, and it pissed me off. Deku didn't know how to reply, but it was almost a relief when Bakugo pressed him against the wall, so much gentler than he had before, and kissed him again. Deku resisted the urge to moan, but it didn't help when Bakugo put a hand on his cheek and let another thumb beneath his pants. What does that mean? What, so he's like this? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Deku pulled away with a sharp gasp, instinctively grabbing Bakugo's wrist. This was also sudden and overwhelming. Bakugo backed up with a sigh. It's just, Deku mumbled, I've never done this before. It was more than a little embarrassing to admit that this was his first kiss, but he'd always been too focused on becoming a hero for relationships. Bakugo rolled his eyes. Of course you haven't. Look. He grinded his knee against Deku's crotch, triggering a shockingly involuntary moan. I am not going to be moaning for this video. I'll have you know. I need to keep at least a shred of my dignity after this. Bakugo chuckled. It's a little embarrassing to be a virgin at your age. He leaned forward to murmur in Deku's ear. Let me fix that. Oh. I feel like I'm witnessing something I shouldn't be witnessing. I feel like I shouldn't be reading this. This feels too private. Anyways. It felt like butterflies in his stomach. All Deku could do was bite his lip. Ugh. Why did I do that? He felt Bakugo's teeth trace down his jaw. Is he having a munch on his face? What is going on? Having a little mung on his jaw? You got a little hungry halfway through? I don't know. Eventually, pulling on his bottom lip before kissing him. Okay. So confidently, apparently I can't talk today. So confidently pushing his tongue in his mouth, and it all felt so good. Deku was rather suddenly confronted with the fact that Bakugo was probably so much more experienced than him. Just another reason to feel embarrassed. Bakugo gripped Deku's hips, leading him over to the bed and sitting him down. I need to stop with the hand motions. Straddling his hips with his knees, he moved his hands to caress his face, pulling away to leave kisses along his jaw and down his neck. It was so uncharacteristically gentle for Bakugo. At least Deku knew him. You're so annoying, Bakugo growled. Moan, enjoy it. God, you think too much. It's just... Shut up. It's just... I'm not used to you being so... Bakugo glared at him. And Deku shrunk under his gaze, regretting saying anything. Eventually, Bakugo replied, If you like it rough, say so, idiot. I don't think I'm going to be able to get past this first chapter, guys. I think we're just going to have to stop it after the first chapter, because this is too much. No, it's not that. He was cut off by Bakugo shoving him into the mattress, leaning down and biting Deku's bottom lip, rolling it between his teeth. That doesn't sound enjoyable at all. That just sounds painful. Before ducking down to leave similar bites along his neck. And admittedly, it drew out more than a few moans. Even Deku himself couldn't have expected, but... Gachan, this is my first... I get it, you're a loser, Bakugo growled. Seeing Deku's obviously pent-up nervousness, he gave an impatient sigh. Whatever, I'll be careful, Christ. Oh, rude. Bakugo moved his hands up to Deku's shirt, brushing against his chest. His mouth alternated between kisses and bites, trailing down his chest. When Deku's shirt got in the way, he merely tore it in the middle. Hey, shut up. Bakugo felt a particularly hard bite on his chest, which admittedly was more pleasurable than painful, but he got the message. With the shirt torn off and thrown away, Bakugo left hickeys where they couldn't be seen. I really don't want to read this next bit, guys. Occasionally sucking on Deku's nipples. Oh, I need to get that image out of my head. That is disgusting. He somewhat experimentally bit gently on the nub. What? This has to be satire. I need another drink of water. This has to be satire. There's no way this is real. And the resulting moan was loud enough for Bakugo to cover Deku's mouth. We're in a dorm, dumbass! Bakugo snapped in a hushed tone. They both went silent for a moment, listening for anyone who might be heard. But then nothing out of the usual popped up. Bakugo went back to biting, but he left his hand on Deku's mouth, which didn't exactly help while Deku was trying to keep quiet. He mostly failed, so Bakugo only succeeded in slightly muffling him. Eventually, Bakugo forced himself to stop. Alright, I'm gagging you. Gagging me? Shut up, this is why. Bakugo clambered off, looking around the room for something to gag him with. Guys, I don't want to read anymore. How much more of this do I have? Oh my god, it's so long. Okay, I'm not even gonna finish this. I'm just gonna read a little bit more, and then I'm stopping, because I genuinely cannot put myself through any more of this. Eventually, he grabbed the tossed shirt, tearing the sleeve off before returning to Deku. Open. Deku awkwardly complied, and Bakugo balled the cloth in unceremoniously to shove it in his mouth. He climbed back over Deku, biting his nipples again. Deku still couldn't control himself, not even close, but his voice was significantly stifled. That's better. With the problem of sound solved, Bakugo turned his attention downwards. Kissing down Deku's stomach, he pulled down Deku's pants slowly, making sure each kiss was tantalizing before moving lower. Deku whined and mumbled something that couldn't be heard, which Bakugo happily ignored. He finally, and they've got like asterisks around finally, pulled off Deku's pants, carelessly tossing them across the room. He reached back up, giving a sharp bite to his chin before asking, guys, I can't. I genuinely can't say this. Have you ever tried? What? This is bad. This is really bad. Actually, I need to know, how old are these characters? I actually don't know. I hope this is age appropriate. How old is Deku? We'll go at the end of My Hero Academia. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. 25 to 24. But it has an 8-year time skip. Okay, I'm just gonna, for my sanity, I'm gonna go, he's 24. Bakugo is 25. Okay, for my sanity, I'm gonna say that they're 25, because I don't want to be seen as a predator. I'm just gonna keep going. I don't think I can read much more of this. And if it does get any worse than this, I'm genuinely gonna have to tap out, because this is really bad already. Okay, I'm gonna do it in the voice again. Have you ever tried? Deku just shook his head, blushing furiously. Then you'll need a lot of lube. He pulled out some from his back pocket, noticing Deku's curious gaze. He added, oh, my laptop's about to die. I think that's a sign I should stop soon. I had a feeling the night might end up like this. He leaned back, pouring an excessive amount of lube onto his 2 fingers. With his free hand as he pulled out the gag, temporarily moving the soaked sweat sleeved out of the way. Try to stay quiet, he growled. But it's not every day I take someone's virginity. He rested his head against Deku's shoulder. I want to hear you. Conflicting. Bakugo ignored this comment, instead. No, he's fingering him. He's fingering him. Guys, I have to stop. No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm tapping out. This is too much for me. I honestly, I didn't even read this story fully before I recorded this. I read, the first couple of, lines up to the bit where they kiss. And I figured, it'll be good enough. But no, I didn't know it was going to get this bad. This channel is definitely not kid-friendly. But that is just too much. Genuinely too much. So yeah, I'm tapping out. You know, honestly, as a Wattpad veteran, I thought my tolerance was much higher than this. But to be frank, I haven't been on the app recently. I haven't been reading many a smut recently. So I guess I've sort of become, what's the opposite of desensitized? More sensitized? I don't know. Anyways, well, that's it for the video. I genuinely can't put myself through any more of that. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed it more than I did, at least. Which, pretty low bar, but anyways. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below your favorite, I don't know. Comment your favorite fan fiction, shall we? I don't know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.